Hey kids, welcome to the 1/6 pack episode 8. I'm Trevor, that is TJ below me, that is Tom below him. I believe that's the way we're going to flow. We'll see.
I'd imagine.
Our names are on here, you know who's who. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. We got a little bit of a truncated show today. We're going to do some news and brews and news. Whatever you want. And then we're going to have a discussion about the figure collecting. And I don't know, maybe we'll talk about our pickups or something. I don't know, we didn't have a lot of pickups this week, or the last couple of weeks. We've been gone, I think, an extra week now. We were supposed to do this last week, and shit's been crazy. So
yeah,
there you go.
Should be cray.
So anyway, we're back. So let's talk about the brews. TJ, what do you got?
I'm going with a Guinness tonight. Shocking.
Me too.
Oh,
nice glass.
But my theme is
Nice
glass.
fleet.
Oh.
Wow.
Very nice.
I just needed something comfortable, you know what I mean? Like I didn't feel like going out looking for something, so it's been a rough month, so.
I forgot we were planning on filming anyway, so I just was wearing whatever t-shirt I was wearing.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. What is it? What is that?
Oh, it's some surf brand company out here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
There you go. Free advertising. Hopefully it'll call
there
us.
you go. Sure. It's completely blocked by the microphone, so it's fine. But I am not drinking Guinness. I am doing something a little special for the summer. Also, before I get into my beer, I do want to apologize for I am moving. In case you don't follow me on Instagram, you don't know. That's why there's boxes everywhere. But it's summertime. It's officially.
And he's thrilled about it too.
Oh, very thrilled! Isn't everybody when they move?
He collects toys too at this point.
Behind the scenes, we had a long conversation before we started recording this about how I was saying no one should collect toys ever because moving is terrible.
I can't even imagine it.
So we're having a heat wave here in California. It's like just started today, and so I am drinking a little something to keep me cool. It is El Segundo Cerveza Fresca.
Ooh,
and it's a tropical IPA.
Nice.
Passion fruit and dragon fruit. And El Segundo is the town directly south from where I currently live. So that's where LAX is.
So now what is the overall flavor of this? Is this fruity? It's got to be.
It's an IPA with a hint of fruit on the back end. It's it's not an overly tangy IPA. It's just, it has a sweeter back end to it.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite things about any kind of fruit in an IPA is that IPA will always be the winning flavor, and fruit just kind of adds a nice little back end taste. And this is just a slightly lighter one.
Okay, so the whole Fresca thing is a bit of a misnomer, but
it tastes very fresh.
Okay,
I'm feeling summery.
All right, you look summery.
You do look summery.
In your surf shirt.
I mean, I'm wearing shorts. I lift my feet, but
no
one can see that.
No, please don't.
It's like, no.
All right, that's the brews. Let's move on with the news. There's our title. All right, what do we got here first? I don't even know. Oh, so
that's right.
Okay, so Rescue. Yeah, Rescue came. We showed the teasers on the last show that got leaked, but we didn't.
Hot Toys leaked them themselves.
Exactly. This quotes. So we finally saw the final shots of this, or at least the final promo shots of this. How is this thing being held up? This.
Can I just say that we need to have a segment that just says "Hot Toys Stop"?
Yeah, I know. This is one of your pet peeves. I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Big pet peeve is on promo shots. I want to see, with promo shots, the figure that I'm buying, what I'm actually buying. Show me how the crown attaches to Hellboy's head. Show me how these things attach to her arm. Show me the freaking plastic piece. I get it when the blogger shots at the end do all the Photoshop wizardry you want. But when I'm going to go out and buy the figure, I want to know what I'm actually paying for. I don't want to know this must be held up by magnets because I see nothing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's annoying because it really does not give you any hint as to how this thing attaches. Right. And I even show a couple pictures like this. but then show how it actually fits.
Like even the last shot or something like that, like, you know, with all the accessories together, to like show the plastic piece or something.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not even in the shot with all the accessories.
I mean, this looks great. I mean, you know, I'm not an Iron Man collector, as everyone knows. Looks great. It's nice.
Mhm.
Not a lot with it, but I guess that's kind of a thing with Iron Man figures. It's kind of in the movement of the armor. Some of them, yeah. But 407. I mean, you guys called this. I thought it was going to be in the 350 range, but I didn't think it was going to be over 4. That's crazy.
I think it was with I want to say it's the 46. I could be wrong. It might be the 47s when they actually hit the $400 price range. And I think that just became the new normal for Hot Toys diecast. Because the diecast Mark 1 War Machine I have, which is bigger than all of these Iron Man figures, and he's diecast and beautiful, was like $385 when he came out. So the fact that this is $20 more than that, and she's like super slim and slender, it comes with like barely any accessories. That War Machine comes with a full battle damaged swap out parts for everything.
Oh wow! Yeah,
so,
Plus he's got that giant gun and all that stuff. It's a lot of shit.
And he had like a base with like, you know, it's just a very elaborate base.
Yeah. I mean, you get a base. You get the what exactly are those nano cannons there?
It's from that one scene that's really cool in the movie with her fighting.
Yeah, you remember that one scene in the movie? That was great.
Honestly, it's that one scene that I'm like, okay, I'm really bracing myself for when this figure drops. I'm going to see 1,000 pictures of that one scene of them fighting back to back. You know,
and you do. Yep. And 3 pair of hands. So there you go for $400. I don't know. You know, I think this is, unless you're a diehard, got to have everything Iron Man armor collector. This could be a tough one. I don't know. We'll see.
I know a lot of people that are very excited about it.
They're not going to tease. Is it A-Force? What is it? A-Force? What is the all women?
They kind of teased A-Force in the movie with that one scene.
But you're not going to see. First of all, that hasn't been announced. They haven't announced really anything. So who knows?
Even the leaks of what the next like 5 years of Marvel are don't include that. So, and Gwyneth Paltrow's not coming back. She ended her contract with Endgame as well, I believe.
We know that for sure. Yeah.
I'm like,
she'll come back for some amount of money, I'm sure.
Yeah. So would Robert Downey Jr. in some form. So. Yeah.
So this may be the first and last you see of that. So set it up for that one cool scene where they're back to back. Leave it in your detolf, and there you go.
Yeah, it's a cool figure. I wish it was cheaper.
Great. And in the meantime, we also got the new cap sculpt finally.
Thank God.
After the pre-orders went up for a couple weeks, right? I mean, pre-orders.
Oh, I think it was longer than a couple weeks.
Was it?
I mean, I feel like it was a month. Maybe just because
it was. It was must have been almost a month.
I feel like maybe because the online dialogue was very much like, "Give us a new head sculpt. Give us a new head." That it just made it seem longer. Right. But I felt like that went on forever.
Yeah, I said something in here. If they felt the pressure, I think they probably did feel the pressure. I mean, I can't imagine if you're that close to showing this, why do you need to put this out with and piss everybody off? Like you think, well, maybe they didn't realize that was going to be. I don't know how.
Well, they typically when they do something like this, and when a new sculpt is coming and it's not approved yet or things like that, they blur it out and they'll say new sculpt coming. They'll always announce when something is going to be added later.
Right.
This was not even included in that initial cap release. I really do think this is a complete reaction to the fans being like, how dare you keep including the same head sculpt?
So do I. And I had a side-by-side. I don't think I put the side-by-side in here. I mean, it is different. The hairline is definitely different. The rest of it, I don't know. How much have you looked at this? Do you think it's a retooling of what they had, obviously, but is it enough of a retooling? I think he looks a little older. They've added a few little lines here and there, but I don't think it's drastic. I mean, I really think this was a last-minute pressure result.
TJ, what are your thoughts? Do you think that it's like a complete retool, something new? Do you think it's a reaction where they're just like, let's quickly throw some new hair on the old sculpt? Or
I'd like to say it was a reaction, but I don't know how much Hot Toys listens to collectors. Right? I mean, They didn't have to. They make a lot of money.
This is true.
Yeah.
Selling everything. I mean, they can make Ronald McDonald Iron Man tomorrow, and it'll sell. So I don't know that they listened.
I'd actually buy that, but
I know.
I mean, Trevor, you pre-ordered this before the new head sculpt.
I did, and I also ordered that third-party sculpt that looked better than the
Elite? The Elite toys?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, which wasn't that great. The nose is a little big, but I figure I'm going to battle damage that one.
I don't think the nose is perfect on this one though either. I think that's my one.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, it's still a little big.
It's better. This is definitely the better of the two. I think the hair looks better on this one.
Yeah,
but I mean, the other one is still really good.
The third-party one.
Yeah. I'm still considering getting it.
Yeah, I figured I'll battle damage that one or something and do something with the shots for that. So, yeah, the question was, is it different enough?
I think so. I honestly, I'd say that now this new cab is a worthy purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Worthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's cab's worthy.
Oh, it's
yeah. But no, I do actually think that it makes it much more of something new.
Yes.
Whereas before it was all they did was just throw the plastic scale mail piece on top of the other suit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here you go.
Yeah, not having had a cap besides the first Avenger one, classic thing. It wasn't disappointing me, except that it didn't really look like him from the movie. So now I'm even more happy. This is great.
That's my one thing. I feel like sometimes Hot Toys with the newer figures, because they are they're making these figures for these new movies, but they're figures that they've done a lot, where they'll try to reuse stuff a lot of the times, which is something that toy companies have done since the dawn of toy companies. So it's not shocking to me every time it happens, but Hot Toys themselves, who is a company that's like strives to be as movie accurate as possible, and that's why we get seamless bodies. That's why we get like all these different things, like other things that will limit other things about the figures.
Correct.
That they'll come out with these figures and they're like, okay, well, we'll give you a head sculpt of what he looked like from Winter Soldier, even though this is a 10 years later movie.
Yeah.
Like, okay. About, you're going against your whole concept of a company here with that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, true enough. Yeah. I have not seen that. I mean, they did 2 Lukes from, they really could have probably reused that head sculpt from The Force Awakens for The Last Jedi, and they did a new sculpt for that. So it's odd that I would really say that Marvel is probably their flagship. I mean, Star Wars is probably right up there, but Marvel's huge worldwide. Marvel, more so than Star Wars.
They must put out, I want to say, at least twice as many Marvel figures as they do anything else.
Yeah, and I just think it's probably, I got to imagine the sales for those are outpacing Star Wars by some degree, and to not do that is just.
But like, think about like a character like Black Widow. Every Black Widow figure that's come out has been a brand new sculpt.
Right? Yeah.
And yet, Tony Stark, Iron Man, they've done how many Iron Man? And there's probably like 5 or 6 different sculpts across all of them.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I mean, it's kind of shocking.
Hang on just a second. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. But at least they rectified that. So
no, I think it was great. It was good on them for doing it. I'm glad they did it. I'm considering that figure now. I think seeing it at Comic-Con is what's going to set me over the edge.
All right. So speaking of third party, we got a lot of third party stuff here, and when we say third party, it's like the acceptable term for unlicensed shit. And it's not necessarily shit. There's some good stuff, but it's unlicensed. Yes. Generally with this stuff, if you're a collector, this is stuff that probably nobody you're never going to see from Hot Toys. You're never going to see from an officially licensed, because there's just not enough call for it. They wouldn't sell. Hot Toys would never. They haven't done anything from these X-Men movies. Am I right?
They've done a few X-Men stuff in the past, but nothing
in the past.
Yeah, nothing recently.
But not this new cast, not the younger cast, not.
Did they show the Professor X once and never come out with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
2 years ago.
Yeah. They showed the James I mean, this, I could be completely wrong, but I swear I
remember this. Yeah.
There was a James McAvoy prototype.
Oh. So they've showed it.
Good.
Yeah. And it would have sold. I honestly think that, it's funny is that Nightcrawler is one of my favorite X-Men. I do feel like if they did a good Nightcrawler, he would sell. Like there are certain characters that would sell. Like Colossus. Holy crap, I wanted a Colossus so badly from the Deadpool movies.
Well, all right. So here's my thing about this stuff. Like I don't like any of the movie iterations of Nightcrawler yet. I mean, I like I don't even who is this guy? I don't even know who this guy is.
I don't know who the actor is in this one, but I know Alan Cummings was.
Alan Cummings is a great actor. I love him, but it was an odd choice for Nightcrawler. It was
when that movie came out, I loved it.
I did too.
It was a different world though back then. We didn't have
especially the Dark Phoenix thing, and then they blew it and ruined everything. So, so for me, like X-Men, like that was the comic book I loved as a kid. I grew up on that. It was like one of the first, not the first comic I ever read. It was obviously Superman or Batman or something, but that's what really got me like, holy shit, this stuff is like cool and adult.
It was the coolest comic.
Reading, you know what I mean? It was great. When John Byrne and Chris Claremont were writing it, amazing. So to me, I'm just wiping out. None of this stuff exists until it comes into the Disney Marvel fold. There is no X-Men movies for me, and I wouldn't buy anything that I wouldn't buy that Colossus from the Deadpool. I mean, it was good.
I like Colossus in those movies.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be. There's going to be another Colossus. They have to start with the classic team, I think.
In 10, 15 years, which who the fuck knows? I might be dead by then. So why not just get the Colossus?
It's not going to be 10 to 15 years.
Well, it's definitely not in the next 5. So, and then after that, that's when they're going to start working on it. And then Hot Toys will come out with the figures. So then that's another 5 years. So it might be 10.
I don't want to even think about that. That's insane. It's got to be sooner than that. That's crazy. Well, whatever. Who the hell knows if I'm going to be doing any of this shit? All this stuff could be gone in 10 years. You know what I mean?
Question: Rescue. That releases in 2021, doesn't it?
I believe so. Yeah. That's
like
insane.
we're seeing release dates for 2 years from now. We're in 2019. We're talking 2021.
Yep.
Imagine what we're like by the time that the X-Men movie comes out.
Yeah.
Under the MCU.
Yeah. Goes on.
So, like, who knows? We might be seeing figures for 5 years out.
I know. TJ, you're not a fan of any of these current X-Men, or?
I mean, I kind of like the first 2 movies, but no, not enough to buy.
First Class was pretty cool. I liked First Class. I thought, okay, maybe they can rectify this. Maybe they can sort of bring it around. But then,
Days of Future Past is the best of all the X-Men movies. Hands down.
Yeah.
I will go and say, not including Logan or Deadpool, I think just straight mainline X-Men movies is the best of all.
I still like the second one, but
I liked the second one. I'm gonna be like when the first 2 came out, I was the biggest advocate for both of those movies. But since the dawn of the modern superhero movie, and I want to say Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2, mainly 2, kind of ushered that into that. It kind of started to dwarf what the original first 2 X-Men movies were, and I've gone back and rewatched them, and they don't hold up as well. I think, at least.
No, I'm sure. I haven't watched them in a while, but I'm sure they don't. All right, let's get back to this thing. Let's get through.
I like this figure, though. I actually considered buying.
I mean, it looks nice. I wish I liked the character. I mean, not the character, but I wish I liked the actor and the look of this. I don't really like the look of the way they did this character.
I don't like the mouth. I don't like the fact that he's just like agape the whole time. He's like,
it's very weird. 2 versions. You got the X jumpsuit and 2 swords with the deluxe.
Yep.
Flexible tail, which is cool. I mean, it'd be fun. If I like the look of this, it'd be a lot of fun to have this. I really hope that maybe Sideshow, even though I'm not really happy with Sideshow these days, does, the comic book X-Men. I'd actually be down with that. You know what I mean?
Part of me is thinking about getting this, though, and I'm not even going to see the Dark Phoenix movie.
No, me neither. I really don't want to. I don't want to.
But Apocalypse ruined that entire franchise for me.
Yeah.
It was awful. I might I'm considering getting this just to kind of go with my X-Men shelf, which is my Sideshow Wolverine and my Deadpool.
Okay.
I have actually my Marvel Legends, the big icons, Colossus in that group. Like, I want a good Nightcrawler to go with them. And I mean, granted, I don't know this actor. I don't really care. The face isn't my favorite, but it's a Nightcrawler, and I love Nightcrawler. And part of me wants to get it just because it is Nightcrawler.
Yeah, it just looks like teen film Nightcrawler. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just looks like it belongs in.
I don't like the YouTube affiliate. I don't know, flap down hair that he's just going to be whapping his hair around like this the whole time.
Yeah, it's annoying. That's really All right, so you're going for the poor man's X-Men team, is what you're doing. You're just
there's no
poor
other
man,
option.
not poor man's. Poor man, not actual poor man's, but
give me another option. I'll go for that. But there's no other options out there.
I would have been okay if they came out with the Alan Cumming version of it. You know what I mean? Like, I still probably.
I'd actually rather this one at least is a Nightcrawler suit. Like, it's an actual superhero suit. Mm-hmm. Nightcrawler, the Alan Cummings one, he was wearing a trench coat.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I know.
Street clothes. Like, I don't know what they're going for.
It was all sorts of wrong. A little autoerotic asphyxiation here or something like that.
Yeah, that's a weird
right?
thing.
Isn't that an odd image?
I don't like that. Get rid of that. Can you? Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, not a whole lot with it, but for 155 and on license, it's probably decent. I don't know where the fans are for this.
I buy 1/12 scale figures for this cost. So whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. Yeah. And we'll probably see more X-Men from Mezco too. So that'll be that. That's actually probably the route I'd go.
You know what? You just talked me out of getting this. I might just wait to see what Mezco does.
Yeah, I mean, it'll take. Well, by the time the X-Men movies come out, Mezco will have all the X-Men for you, ready to go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Mezco is almost worse than Hot Toys in terms of release.
All right. Yeah, this guy. So another third party.
I'm going to guess all three of us pre-ordered this.
I did. Yeah.
I forgot to.
You still have time.
Except for, didn't Rockstar just send them another cease and desist on this? And then they've pulled them off all those sites?
Did they?
That's what I was told. I have not double checked that.
I didn't hear that.
I put in a gimme one on TNS figures, so if it doesn't come in, it doesn't come in. But
I paid in full for mine.
What's that?
I paid in full for mine.
Oh, well, that's your first mistake.
Well, I mean, I was like, I have all this money in my PayPal account because I'm selling stuff to move, and I'm like, I might as well just pay off the whole thing so I don't have to worry about it.
It's an eBay person or somebody?
No, I paid in full from KG.
Oh, KG. Okay, yeah.
No, I'm sure if this figure doesn't come, I'll get my money back because it is an actual reputable company.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. Right. Well, I really hope it does. And here's the thing.
Me too.
Again, like most of these video games, because I don't have time, I have not played this game. It looks super cool. It's probably something I'd be really into, but
I think you'd like it. And also, Rockstar will never make figures for these games. And it's sad because everybody would want to buy them. So the fact that they're going out there throwing out cease and desist for it, and yet they don't have no intention to make figures from it, because what they've proven over the course of all this time is that they never license their stuff out for action figures.
Why is this?
I don't know.
I don't get this attitude, man. Is this some sort of like, I mean, I get that George, what's his name? From Mad Max.
Oh, yeah. I know.
I get that he won't license things because he just looks at it as cheapening the film.
That's probably what they think, maybe.
What's that?
That might be what Rockstar thinks. Who knows?
But, I mean, okay. I mean, I get that they are approaching films now, video games. You know what I mean?
This one more so than any other video game before it.
But I mean, I've seen the cutscenes and the acting. It ain't Academy Award winning. It's not to that level yet. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not like we'll be remembering this game in 50 years. The class. I don't know. It's maybe in a retrospective of video games, yes, but it's not a film. Sorry, it's not a film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
why not
if you want to get into that conversation, let me tell you something that if we're talking,
go ahead.
Okay, but I have to say this one thing. If we're talking films, TV, video games, and I don't know what else, entertainment media, my favorite way to consume stories, like good stories, is interacting with them, and it is through video games. And maybe the acting isn't on par with like Academy Award-winning actors, but I enjoy the fact that, like Kratos in the latest God of War, I was Kratos, not some actor that maybe gave a decent performance playing Kratos. I was Kratos, even though he was acting himself on the screen, and it was great, and it was just an enjoyable way to consume a story. So I prefer.
I get that from the viewer's point of view. Sure, you know what I mean. But what I'm saying is the equivalent of I don't know why his name's escaping me, but anyway, from Mad Max, doesn't want to do that because the films are, he doesn't want to start doing the Star Wars route of toys and everything and lunch boxes with Mad Max on it and toasters that are,
I don't think he has to worry about that. I don't think people will be making lunch boxes with Mad Max on it.
Dude, I would have had a fucking Mad Max lunchbox so bad back in the day, man. I was 25, but I still would have had it. Anyway, I can see that. But this, I don't know. It's just like, this is pop culture now. Like, why wouldn't you feed into pop culture and have a cool, I could see, you don't want to maybe license it to, well, I wouldn't even say like Hasbro, but like maybe you don't want like a cheap figure like that, but it's something nice. This is beautiful, man.
This is gorgeous, and they shouldn't be stomping on it because all the people that are buying this are the fans of the game, and they're basically showing how much they love the game by spending this money. Granted, yes, Rockstar's not getting a cut of it. Then freaking give some money to or like give Lim Toys a license for it and just be like, okay, we're now going to make this a license thing and just charge $50 more.
You know what would be cool? And here's the other thing, like from a PR standpoint, I mean, again, these companies aren't like what they were, but from a PR standpoint, like be cool about it and say, hey, listen, we're going to let you make this. You're going to give us a 15% cut or a 20% cut of the product, whatever, you know what I mean? But then let people get it because they're fans of your game and not be like a corporate douchebag and say, no, we're shutting this down so you can't have it. Nobody can have it.
The only thing they're doing by shutting this down is pissing off the fans of the game because.
But the problem with that is these days the people, the fans of the game will come back and play the game. They're not worried about this. This is like some of these toy companies. They're just not worried about, it's like, to be honest, like when I think about like people with pictures, just because we do photography, there's companies like Mezco that their photography is horrendous. They don't care though. They don't care because they will sell out of almost every figure. You know what I mean? And so why should they spend any money? Why should they do anything? Why should they cater to the fans, make things better for them, better experience? Websites, good Lord, websites, NECA with these pre-orders for the
Comic-Con stuff.
Their website cannot handle it. Yeah. But why bother fixing it when everybody's just, they don't care. Nobody cares. They sell out. Yeah.
I will tell you from a website perspective, because that's what I work on. That's a lot of money they would have to sink in to fix that stuff.
I build e-commerce sites. It's not, not maybe that enterprise level, but I could build something
that level is different than the level that I think you and I work with.
Maybe it's bandwidth. It's just handling bandwidth, basically.
It is. You need a team to.
Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay. TJ, are you gonna get this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Have you played the game?
I have, and now that I'm on vacation, I can keep playing it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I have not finished this game either. What
is the deal with this third mid-beard? I've seen people like, oh, they showed it.
I need the mid-beard one.
But is that an exclusive or a separate skull?
They're selling that one head separately.
Okay, so I have that right. Yeah, that's what I thought.
You nailed it in the description. I don't know why they're doing that, because honestly, just put the extra 20. I think it was like $26 or something like that for the head.
Very odd.
Include that in the cost. I would have easily already for the cost of this figure, and look at all of these freaking accessories. You're getting so much stuff.
I know. It's incredible.
This is like when I saw this picture. Like, originally I was like, oh yeah, I would love an Arthur Morgan. And then I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But I was like, maybe I won't get it. And then I saw this picture, I'm like, oh, I'm definitely getting it. Look at all this.
I just want to, like, it's my problem. Maybe I'll get a third-party head or something like that, or some because I just want to do the cowboy thing, man. For photos, I just really want to do some Western shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I don't want it to be tied to Red Dead Redemption and have people go, oh, that's whatever.
Yeah, but anything you do in that is because it's an.
I guess it pretty much is. Yeah, it would work out anyway. It's not like I'm gonna
100%
throw a curve to the. But this is. I mean, there's so many looks for this for $185, man. Good.
I love this look. I love the cold weather look.
Love this look. Yeah, this is a great look. Just phenomenal, man. I mean,
I just hope to God that we all get this figure and that Rockstar doesn't find a way to shut it down.
Yeah, it's the problem is it's a known. They know about it. I mean,
they most certainly do.
It's honestly, I'm gonna give it. If you had to give it a percentage, I'm gonna give it a 35%, maybe 40% chance of making it.
Can I tell you something? Us talking about it on this show is not helping it because I know. Lintoys himself doesn't want people to talk about it. But
well, I mean, for the couple hundred people that watch this, I don't think it's going to be.
I agree. No, I want to talk about it. I promoted it like on my page on Instagram. I posted it on my stories and whatnot, and I had someone write out to me almost immediately after posting. I'm like, Lintoys doesn't want you posting this stuff, and I'm like, but at the same time, it's out there. It's on a website.
Yeah,
it's out there for sale. I don't think Rockstar is checking my page. I don't know, but yeah,
it's bizarre. It's when we have a full discussion of customs, it becomes or separately, I guess maybe these third party offerings. It's become a thing where you have to promote without really shouting it. It's like a quiet. It's the same thing that people went through up until. It's still kind of going through it up until a couple of years with the customs, where you had to literally, even on the boards on Sideshow Freaks or something, you had to rename it like.
Well, this is the gunslinger.
Like the gunslinger or mafia guy. You know what I mean? It's like mafia father. And
we just saw The Nightmare, which is
The Nightmare, correct? Yes. Yeah. Right, but I mean, the pictures everywhere. I mean, you put this on Instagram, Rockstar Games is going to see this. So,
of course. Yeah, of course they are.
And there's no way for you is they can't touch you legally, maybe where you are, but maybe they won't allow the import. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, it's very cool. Definitely cool. Definitely buying. Did you see this?
Meh.
Yeah, I'm mad on this too.
All right, so
that's nice. I'm just not like a huge Rocky fan.
I'm not a huge Rocky fan either.
It doesn't really look like Rocky in the face to me, based on this one picture.
It's Rocky after a few punches to the face, Tom. Obviously,
it's Rocky. If I don't know if someone drew.
There was a quarter scale Rocky from Blitzway, I believe.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. That's K.A. Kim, I think, sculpted that.
K.A. Kim is a phenomenal artist.
Yeah. This is Inigo Gill, who's a great sculptor. I think it's good. I don't think it's perfect.
The nose is
Trevor is the guy who he does a lot of Conans. He did my Braveheart, which is awesome. He did a great job. Great custom painter, great custom guy. He hooked up with these guys because I think they did some Conan parts. The interesting thing about this, going back to our discussion of the last figure, so there's two versions of it. They are selling them as separate pieces. So you have to buy the clothing set, the head and hands, and the body separately.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a big pain in the ass because they were kept saying if you want this, it's X amount of pounds, it's this amount of pounds, because all in or euros or whatever. And you had to figure out, you had to do the math and figure out, is that, what's that in US with shipping, blah, blah, blah. It's about 200.
So for everything together is $200
per look. So
per look.
Yeah. You got the street look is $200 and you got the gym look is $200.
Screw that. Sorry. Okay. The head sculpt looks way better here. It's
a good looking sculpt, man. I mean, there's parts of it that aren't perfect, but it's pretty damn good looking, I think.
It's interesting that okay, so there's different hat swaps.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it. I thought the hat looked sculpted onto the sculpt in the last photo.
It is.
Oh, but it comes off?
No. It's a separate.
There's completely different sculpts.
Different sculpt and hand sets. So you want the sculpt for the street, you want the clothes for the street, and you want the body. That's $204. You want this head and hands,
planning.
gym, blah blah blah.
No.
So, but I'm thinking like they're doing that to get around the full figure sale. You know what I mean?
You're still selling Sylvester Stallone.
Plastic has done this stuff because they did a Braveheart figure and then they sold like another sculpt that didn't have the face paint on it, and they sold it separately. I mean, obviously they named them like Scottish Warrior or whatever, but they sold it as a figure. I mean, it's fucking Braveheart. You know what I mean? So there's no getting around that.
That's the one that you have, right? That's your favorite figure? Yeah.
One of my favorite figures, yeah. After Dario did the sculpt, painted that. But so I'm wondering if that's why they're not doing this, just to get around this, or maybe it's just a matter of paying different people for different things. I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows?
I know some Rocky fans. A friend of mine, he's a painter. He loves Rocky. He's not down with it yet. Theoden. This was something I didn't see coming. I mean, we did see it coming because we saw it in that little clip or the little picture that I'm going to show next. But
this is announced already?
No, they teased it.
Yeah, this was actually on Asmus's Instagram page.
They may have. I mean, I didn't look at it today. They may have They don't go too far between teases and saying, okay, here it is. So it's probably any day now. Probably next week they'll put it up.
I'm in.
You're in for Theoden? Didn't we just talk about how you didn't need a Theoden?
But this looks so good.
It does look good.
How quickly that changes.
This is not a figure I need at all. Like, this is like, even what do you even like? I mean, you could do whatever you want with him photography wise, but it's like he didn't do much in the movie. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, he fought, but I don't know.
I like the other teases on that Asmus Instagram post.
Well, that's coming up next. Hang on.
The Elrond?
I got it right here.
Well, good.
Either Elrond.
So we're wondering. I'm wondering if this comes with rooted hair and sculpted hair options. Like
that's sculpted right there.
Oh, that's sculpted. Yeah, for sure. It works with him because of the shorter hair, but that it's gonna rub on the shoulders is gonna make me crazy. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I would get the rooted hair. No idea on price. Here's the back of him.
Oh, that Gandalf! I want that Gandalf so bad.
Isn't that awesome? I mean, if they have figured out how to get that, and I don't doubt that they haven't, to get the hair looking like that, mass production, boy, I am so going to be happy because we saw that.
This photograph, that Gandalf, and that Azog, I'm all about those two. That's it. That's all I need from this entire photograph.
I'm all about the bottom left.
I know you want that Elrond.
Yeah.
I like what they're looking at in the book, though. The helmets in the book?
Gladriel, no, not down with that.
I don't need a Gladriel.
I already have a helmet.
She's in like a couple scenes, just looking at the camera, like, you know.
More than Theoden is, don't you think? She had more screen time than Theoden?
Theoden was at least fighting in the battle, you know, like. Like he actually had some like big momentous. Okay, Gladriel had some great scenes, some very big memorable scenes, but nothing. I buy a lot of more action. I'm about action.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Like action. She didn't have any of those types of scenes, which I would have loved to seen her do some kind of crazy stuff.
If she looks really good, if they nail the face, I could see getting that.
This angle looks really good.
It does. It really does.
I don't need Theoden either, though. Going back to what you just said, I don't need Theoden.
Me neither. But damn it, he looks. I mean, they just nail the clothes.
The armor looks great. Yeah.
I need him to stand next to Aomer.
To make Aomer look worse?
In front of him? In front of him.
Oh.
So, yeah, Theoden would be the point of focus on the camera, and Aomer would be blurry. I'm thinking F5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that, and I see what you mean, man. That's not.
I just got a really exciting text message. Can I share it with you?
Yeah, please do.
My buddy lives in Hong Kong. He moved there, many months ago, and I just messaged him like, "Hey, have you heard of a place called Secret Base? Can you buy me something from Secret Base?"
Oh, this is not your hookup in Hong Kong? This is a new guy?
No, this is like an actual friend who like lived in Queens all his life.
Nice.
And moved to Hong Kong. So he actually messaged me a few minutes ago. He's there, or he's headed there, and I was like, "Can you get me a John Wick
Oh, I swear to God, if you get John Wick before I get John Wick, I will fly to New York to steal him from you. I'll punch you in the face and take him and run.
You can actually get past the afternoon doorman. He sleeps at the desk. So
perfect.
3 to
Thank
11,
you for helping me steal this from you.
You can sneak right in.
I want that figure immediately. Like,
is this our new hookup? Is this our new Hong Kong hookup?
Yeah, he lives there.
All right.
That's
hey,
exciting.
you know what? It'll be cheaper to get all 3 of our figures together and ship in one big shipment.
True enough.
Yeah.
We'll talk afterwards. Sorry.
No one else.
No,
we can't put this episode up anymore. That's it.
Sorry. We don't care about our fans.
This looks great.
It looks pretty good. Now, again, going back to our discussion,
and it's licensed.
There's no compunction about just putting out Django Unchained on this one, man. It's like right out there. Yep, we're totally stealing this.
I'm actually shocked that they put the name of the movie.
I know.
Wait, it's not licensed?
It is not licensed.
So, but they can say they can't.
They can't say that, but they're doing it anyway.
No.
Oh, never mind.
What company? Present?
I could be wrong. I didn't see anything about licensing. I saw there's no copyright.
That is not a licensed price point. Licensing costs like at least the $80 difference.
True enough. Yeah, it would be $180 at least for this probably. And knowing Quentin Tarantino, it'd probably be $240 because he wants that extra cash.
Well,
pretty good sculpt. Not
okay.
Clothing looks decent.
Clothing looks really nice, I think.
Yeah.
It looks like really form-fitted.
Yeah.
Really nice.
It does actually look really good. The belt looks a little cheap, but what do you expect for $140?
I might get this to go with my gunslinger.
I was thinking the same damn thing, man.
Yeah.
Even just swapping out the head, man. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, they would look good together.
You got a whole Western scene there for what? 200? No.
Cheaper than Rescue.
True enough. Still cheaper than Rescue. Doesn't come with a lot. Those glasses are horrendous.
Those glasses are terrible Morpheus glasses from the 1990s.
But who cares? Take them off. Don't need them. The rest of
like $300 and get a pair of metal ones from wherever you guys buy those.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Full Metal. Full Metal will make these for you for $350.
Jesus.
For your $140 figure, you can have a pair of $350 glasses.
People will do it.
If I was a big fan of this, I would do it. You really can't fill out your Quentin Tarantino shelf now, and I'm surprised. This, Star Race, which they dropped the ball on Pulp Fiction, man.
Asmus has whatchamacallit, right? The Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. Yep.
Yeah.
They did a beautiful job on those.
Well, it's Asmus. I got to tell you, buying the Lord of the Rings figures, they are hit or miss sometimes, but when they hit, they hit.
They've been more hit recently. They were a lot of hit and miss early on. The Hobbits were still. I need a couple of fixes for those, but
the very first Comic-Con I shot, I sent out like a call to people being like, hey, let me know what you want me to take pictures of. And Math, C Collectibles, wrote to me. He was like, oh, hey, can you take pictures of the Lord of the Rings figures? And I was like, sure. So I go there and I started looking at them. And this is before even Gimli was shown. And I was like, oh man, I was looking at these. I'm like, these are kind of rough. I'm like, whatever. And then the next year he asked me to go back and take pictures of them. And the next year they had Gimli in the case. I'm like, this looks really good. Okay, there's some good figures here. They're learning, they're getting better, and I'm supporting them.
Here's one that I don't know why. I don't know what the hell's holding up a Gollum, man. Come on.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah. After the Fellowship, that should have been one of the first things to come out, but whatever.
I agree.
I'm sure it's a whole body thing. I understand there's a lot of money in that, but.
Do you have their latest release coming in this thread of stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Coming up. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yep. So this is cool. I don't know, $440 again. If you want a Western cowboy, that's pretty cool.
Oh, next figure. There she is.
There you go.
She looks fantastic.
Take it away, Tom, because I know nothing about this character.
Character from Devil May Cry. She looks great, spot on. I think that
really cool looking.
Sculpt looks really great. I think, awesome. I don't know. I might not get her myself just because I haven't bought any of the Devil May Cry 6 scale. I'm thinking about maybe going 1/12 on this line just because they're doing those now.
Who's doing that?
But I forget what company. I want to say who did the Hellboy.
Oh, Thousand Toys?
Didn't Thousand Toys just do the Dante from?
Oh, maybe, yes. You're right.
Yeah, I think it's Thousand Toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this looks. I'm taken by it. I'm enjoying the photographs I see of this figure.
I know, it's really nice.
Yeah, the eyes look fantastic. Everything looks fantastic.
So they're announcing more accessories. $195. That gun looks pretty badass right there. If that's a gun.
I also just really appreciate their price points.
I know this. I write this in my reviews all the time of their stuff, and I know that you're dealing with the Lord of the Rings, which is how many years old now? I mean, when was the last? Not the Hobbit, but the actual Lord of the Rings is 15,
2003,
20 years, 15.
God, don't make me feel older, please.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, the license for that, yes, you've got the Tolkien aspect of that. It's probably a pricey one, but it's not Star Wars pricey or Marvel pricey.
Right.
And Devil May Cry, same thing. You know what I mean?
Do you think Star Trek is around the same price point as? Would you put them with Lord of the Rings, or would you put them with Star Wars? Because I could
probably find that out doing those figures. I could probably ask that, but I would say it's tough to say because the brand itself and Paramount are it's expensive. I know that, but I don't know with those characters.
I just wonder if in the fans' mind share, if you were to value one over the other, which would weigh out to be actually more worth in terms of what people would be willing to shell out.
Between which two? What are you saying?
Lord of the Rings and Star Trek. I would imagine Lord of the Rings would probably sell better.
Yeah, I think
so. But
so.
It's funny because the price point is cheaper than the Star Trek figures are, right?
They're on par. I mean,
they are. Are the Star Trek ones that cheap?
The Star Trek ones are in the $199, $190 range, depending on the fit. Like Kirk and Spock, who came with a lot of stuff, I think were $199.
I might be buying some Star Trek figures.
The other ones, Scotty and Sulu, I think are in the $180 range. They don't come with much, but yeah. So
they look great. Oh,
yeah, they do look great. I actually did get. They sent me the new sculpt that we talked about weeks ago. Nobody remembers it. It looks good. It's not the same, but it looks good. Anyway, back to.
I wish they didn't change it. Do you guys think that the boots on this are two separate pieces? Because looking at this picture, I'm a little worried that it's one.
I'm a little worried too because you talk about hit or miss. Yeah. Like they do. This is what I don't understand with Asmus.
Oh, let's talk about those Hobbit feet, please.
Well, okay, the Hobbit feet, but I'm talking about just boots.
Yeah.
Because Aragorn's are one piece.
Really?
Yeah. And then you've got most of the rest of them, which are two piece. Except for Gandalf. Gandalf's are soft. Gandalf's are soft goods.
Okay.
Okay, let's pick one and go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pick the good one though, please.
The two piece. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because this is even set up just by looking at the design of it. It's set up perfectly for a two piece, but it doesn't look like it is. Though I'm basing it on one photograph. I'm seeing one boot.
They have a tendency. It seems from looking at the stuff to they don't want to go. I mean, it's a video game though, so you get away with a lot though. There is screen accuracy, but they have I don't know. Is there not a line there?
I see a line. There's totally a line, but I don't know if it's a.
It might just be like a seam line or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks so tight that it does not look like it's.
I can't imagine they do this to that figure because what are you going to do with this figure? You know what I mean? Like if it's not going to move. I mean,
you do exactly what her right foot is doing.
Boots are ridiculous. I mean, they're just ridiculous. They're so big. There's going to be no flexibility unless they're soft.
Maybe we'll learn a little bit more because they've teased more characters from the Devil May Cry. I'm hoping that maybe we kind of see all of them and kind of get a little bit of a taste of what they're going to do.
Yeah,
by Comic-Con.
True enough. Yeah. All right. And now this I had to throw in here because it just blew my fucking mind.
Just throw it in the trash, please.
I just thought it was a funny way to end this whole segment with Wolf Baby. Why? I don't.
It's like those baby. Someone has like a baby Iron Man and a baby Captain America.
Do they?
Yeah,
Not the cost baby things, but an actual one.
no, like it looks exactly like this.
Oh, maybe is it the
Awful,
same
atrocious
company? ADD Toys, which I find is very funny.
Yeah,
I mean,
like your bullet points.
Try to make it look like Wolverine, maybe.
I mean, it kind of looks like the young James Howlett from the comic. If that helps a little bit. I mean, I don't know.
He was blonde.
Dirty blonde, maybe. I don't know.
Look at this.
I hate it.
Is he attached to his sleeve? What is happening there? I don't know. I just found this hilarious. It's not even worth the $75, man. This looks like
No, that $75 can get you a Mezco toy. Buy that instead of this
crap. But
flying bracket with magnet inside. Okay.
Yeah, so you can have him up in the air, flying down on your.
With accurate beer belly.
Like if the baby if he looked a little like him and he was kind of angry looking and he had the hair, I still wouldn't buy it. But I might think about it for half a second. You know what I mean? But you didn't even try. You didn't even try ADD Toys. Oh, you're ADD, so there you go. Do I have? Oh yeah, this. Anybody see this?
No.
All right. So it's the pre-makeup Joaquin Phoenix. Again, sold separately as a head and an outfit. Clothing looks.
Outfit's really good.
It looks decent, man.
I might get that outfit just for the inevitable Hot Toys version that will come out.
Exactly what I was thinking, man. Exactly what I was thinking. You know this is coming out, and you know they're not going to give you this version of him. You know, this isn't coming. It's
because I'm already thinking I'm 100% getting what Hot Toys does this Joker, which they will. They've never not done a Joker and then do it in resplendent fashion.
Hell yes.
I will get this Joker because I haven't even seen the movie, but I like the look. I dig everything I've seen about it. It's great.
TJ, you're getting that Joker,
no?
No? What if the movie's great? What if the movie's great?
Maybe I don't own a single Joker.
Why? Do you own Batmans?
Yeah, I own. Well, actually, I only own one Batman. And you guys have talked me out of getting the Al Batman, which came up again yesterday.
Yeah, don't.
But then instead, I got that Amazing Spider-Man figure that doesn't move.
Which one?
The one we were exchanging messages about from the cover of number 39.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
And it was too iconic to pass up.
But that one's not even. That's like $30 versus how much? I mean. Hopefully you didn't spend $200 on that Marvel Select Spider-Man figure.
It's $24.
Okay, yeah, it's cheap.
Would you have sold it to me for less or for more?
I would have sent it to you just for paying me shipping. I would have sent it to you.
Do you not want a Heath Ledger Joker, or you're not willing to pay the?
Well, this isn't Heath Ledger.
At this point, I'm not paying eBay prices for Heath Ledger. It looks amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly. So what he had just said is the reason why I don't have my favorite Joker from the films, which is the Heath Ledger Joker. I cannot pay $500 for a figure or more. I know he goes for more.
Well, there's a third party one now, which with rooted hair that looks pretty decent. I gotta say. I
can't bring myself to do third party on one that I know that Hot Toys should just do another one of.
How they haven't done another one, I don't understand. But
right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we already had the anniversary, so that would have been their time.
Yeah,
so.
I'll get this one. I'll be happy with it.
I gotta tell you, man, I picked it up. I picked it up a few years ago, but I picked it up off on Facebook, and the box was a little, worn, but the figure's in great shape. It looked great, and it was a decent price. You know what I mean? If you're not going to get into the box thing, you can get a good price on them still. Not cheap, but you can get it. But yeah, the sculpt not great.
No.
All right. Not great. Good paint job on it might fix it, but I don't know. But yeah, Tom, exactly what you're saying. I think I might just pick it up just for that, in the hopes that this movie's great and I get that other figure. And
I was gonna say everything I've seen. There's only been one trailer. The one trailer I've seen looks freaking fantastic. So,
and you can't believe the hype all the time, but from what I'm hearing is people are saying unprovoked, people who visited the set, whatever, he nailed it, and it's really good. So.
If you're gonna get an actor to just kind of go all in and do this kind of thing, Joaquin Phoenix is the one to do it. Because, man, those scenes where it's just like you see his back and you kind of just see what's happening with that. It's just like he's transforming.
Dude's all in, man. He's all in. He's all in. Did anybody see the rumors of the new Joker with
Macaulay Culkin?
Macaulay Culkin.
Saw that today.
Really?
Is that a joke?
I don't know. It's a rumor going around with the
I'd be okay with it.
The new Batman. So, I mean, he's played some dark characters, man, recently, and I think he could do it. I think he could pull it off. It'd be interesting.
My only complaint is, how about shelve the Joker for a while? There's a lot of other amazing Batman villains that I would much rather see on screen.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I know. I don't think the Penguin was ever really done full.
Danny DeVito did a fantastic job as the Penguin. That weird mutated.
He did a great job. He did a great job. I just, it's dated now. I want to see a new take on that.
That's not the actual Penguin. Like, the Penguin shouldn't be a weird mutated half penguin, half person.
Correct.
He's an ugly ass little short dude who kind of resembles a penguin.
Right. And there's never, well, aside from Frank Gorshin, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never liked any Riddler. That's
well, yeah, Jim Carrey was basically just the Joker as the Riddler. So yeah,
Jim Carrey was, I think,
terrible
doing Frank Gorshin or trying to do Frank Gorshin. I don't know.
I would love a good Riddler, like a good, like, actually, here's a smart man, almost like Saw level kind of villain, like
or cyber level, like a programmer or something like that, who could do some, more intense puzzles, Sherlock Holmes, sociopath level stuff. You know what I mean? Kind of cool.
Yep. I want an actual good Mr. Freeze, because Mr. Freeze is one of my favorite villains of all time. And
fantastic. That's gonna be tough to translate into like a real, in that realism world, like the Nolan world. It would have been tough for Mr. Freeze.
Oh, for the Nolan world, sure. Although I could actually see him working in the Nolan world, because it's like it's cryogenics. It's like you can kind of work out like a way.
The outfit and all that.
It's just a way to keep him cold. It doesn't have to be the big.
No, I know. No, I know. No, I'd like to see. I'd like to see a take on it, but
Oh wow, this is only $90. That's pretty good.
$90. So like
that the clothes for just the clothes is pretty nice.
Looks really good. Yeah, even if you use that for just like a pedestrian or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got any pickups? I think this is the last one. Anybody got any pickups that they want to talk about or anything before we go on to the?
TJ got pickups. I got nothing.
We got Black Panther and Stormtrooper.
Oh, that's right, Black Panther, right?
Which Stormtrooper is it? Is it just Stormtrooper?
It's the Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper. The deluxe that comes with the light up Death Star panel base.
Oh, I didn't realize that was officially Return of the Jedi Stormtroopers.
I am not sure, but all of the promo pics have Return of the Jedi like backgrounds on them. A lot of the bloggers do too.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a original trilogy. I know there's so many subtleties in those armors that.
Yeah, I know, and yet there are those.
And I couldn't tell you, like, you could put them side by side. And as much of a Star Wars fan, certain ones, yes, but I could tell you what's off on something. But like, I don't know.
Funny enough, you'd be one of the people I'd be like, could tell me if I'm like wrong on which kind of Stormtrooper it is. You'd be like, oh no, I'm sorry, but that is a New Hope. Third scene, 4 seconds in.
No, that's Rogue One. Rogue One has a wider space between the grids and the that's crazy. I don't know. The Boba Fett the same way with me. Like I did a review on him. I kind of understand the differences and stuff, but subtleties. But there's a lot of subtleties there, man.
It took me a while to know the difference, because when I got the ESB one, I started like looking up what was the difference between the ESB and the Return of the Jedi one. And I had to actually like kind of Google it for like a little while to kind of like look at pictures. I'm like, oh, what are the color differences? I'm like, oh, it's very subtle, but those differences are there.
Do we like the Stormtrooper, TJ?
I do. I just don't know how to shoot him.
Black Panther, you're having a hard time shooting him, or you just don't know what to do with him, or what?
I don't know what to do with him. The sculpt it might be growing on me a little. But that's after like 6 beers.
Unmasked sculpt. The unmasked
sculpt, yes.
Okay. You shot that just as equally as you shot him masked. So it must be growing on you a little bit, because you're spending a lot of time with it unmasked.
Might do that again tonight. I actually destroyed the replaceable eyes. can swap out the eyes with, like, just regular eyeballs and like the metal looking eyes.
Destroyed them?
Yeah, like it popped out. I mean, I super glued it in yesterday. Just want to make sure it's dried properly.
Yikes!
That took all of like 10 seconds to do that.
Wow. How did they pop out? Just squeezing
I
it?
might have been really aggressive, like pulling it out of the
You might have been.
I mean, I'm really strong. Really strong.
I always said that about you, TJ.
Amongst other things.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Samurai Vader guy that I picked up.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about him a while back. He looks really sweet. I like him.
It does. I don't know. It's something. I don't know if it's the weight of him or.
Is he light?
Yeah, I don't know. Everything feels a little cheaper than it looked. It's still a lot of detail in the armor and stuff, but it's just. I don't know. It's not grabbing me yet, but we'll see.
Okay. Because it looks cool from the blurry cam that I can kind of see.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. And then, of course.
Yeah, I just wanted to go tell you, you can go take a long walk off a short pier for how you're able to get him for as cheap as you're able to get him. Get out of here.
Come on, Tom. Give it to me, Tom. Give me come on.
I hate you.
It was a lot of work to get that deal going, but it was good. So that cool figure is so freaking cool, man. I love that.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like
isn't it?
Tom will know someday.
I have one.
Oh, you do?
Oh, did you not know that I got one that I bought off a dude for really cheap, actually? However, he shipped it in a bag with no protection and then just came all smashed to bits.
Oh, did you tell us that? I thought this was the smoke one or something. Oh no, that was
no. He was also covered in smoke too. But
oh,
yeah.
Lovely.
Oh
wow.
No, it's everything you could possibly imagine wrong with a figure is how this guy came in, and then the guy promised me a full refund. And then every week it was like next week, until finally like a month goes by. I'm like, dude, so about that refund, and he's like, oh, just so you know, I'm like $10,000 in the hole. That refund's not going to come for a very long time. And I'm like, so in other words, it's not going to come.
Oh,
it was a painful day.
Was that like a one-on-one deal?
It was a one-on-one deal over Instagram, and I regret it. And I will tell anybody to never buy anything from this guy ever.
Oh yeah, I'd be blasting his name all over the place.
I'm too nice, I guess, to do that. I don't know. I want to. I thought about it.
Well, warn people because that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
And this, honestly, TJ, you told me you know where this came from, and it was a little weird for a while. There was some weird stuff, and for a while I was like, he's in. Well, I'm not gonna say, but he's nearby.
You could say where someone is.
What's that?
You could say where a person is. I don't think
I'm not just. It all went fine, and he's a good guy and everything, and it was all good deal. Just it felt a little weird at times, but it all worked out good. So. Anyway, all right, moving on.
I'm still jealous is the end of that story.
It's just one more thing to pack up, Tom. That's all.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so quick discussion because we don't have a lot of visuals here, but this is going to be interesting.
We hope.
What's that?
I said we hope.
Yeah, hopefully. What's next in the 1/6 scale evolution? Like, I think about this every once in a while. Like, what is, you look back and you look at Sideshow figures, like the Star Wars figures that I collect, early on, in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they're horrible. You can buy them for $40, and they were only $90 at the time, but actually they're probably only $40, $50 at the time. But they don't hold up. They looked great at the time. It was a great thing to have this full figure on your shelf, and that's Han Solo, and wow, isn't that cool? But it didn't really look like Han Solo, and it wasn't, the stitching looked like a doll.
Well, they're more comparative to what the taller scale GI Joes and Migos at the time, right? Yeah. There wasn't like a Hot Toys or something like that out there during those days.
Right. And we had a little bit of a history on 1/6, and we had some of the imagery of some of that stuff and where it came from weeks back. Look at that one. I think it was episode 4 or 5. But yeah, it was based on that stuff. 1/6 was it was basically military stuff before some of the pop culture stuff came along, and starting with like the Matrix from Hot Toys, and the Star Wars stuff is just terrible. And then now you get these sculpts, and even in the last 5 years, the sculpts are looking infinitely better than they used to, than they were 5-6 years ago. They were good, and now the detail is incredible. The sculpts are incredible. They're spot on from every angle. The paint is better. The clothing's gotten better. So where can this possibly go? Does it just stay where it is and we keep paying more money for them? Or do they innovate and do something new? So what got me thinking about this, at least, was this. And I don't know why it's just spitting through here, but, well, that was Al Pacino from Heat. Kojun's a sculptor who did Maul, he did Thanos, he did Anakin, he did young Ben Kenobi, among others. Great sculptor. He recently stopped working for Hot Toys, like I think the end of last year or this year. He put on his Facebook page, and he started doing this. So that's an eyeball for a silicone-based sculpt. Which is just insane looking to me. Like,
the sculpt looks insane. And the way you were showing me, I don't know if you have the videos.
I do, yeah, it's coming up.
Okay, good. Because the way how this head turns, it looks like an actual human head turning. Because like the skin folds correctly. It's crazy.
So this looks incredible, and it's going to have, it's silicone based, so it's going to have a feel. Not that you need to touch, or you want people touching it to say, "Ooh, it feels like skin." But I think it just has that sort of sheen to it that just gives it that extra depth of real skin, and the fact that the eyes are popped in from behind that. You don't.
Can you move the eyes? Is the eyes like a pierce system?
It might be. I don't know. I haven't seen that in action. He hasn't put that up on his Facebook page yet, so I don't know.
Because when you showed that picture to us over our text message thread, I just assumed that thing in the background was a magnet that you can kind of like change where the eyes are.
Possibility. I'm not sure with the silicone how you'd get to it unless you went.
That's what I'm thinking. It's a magnet. So you hold a magnet on the outside, and you're like connect, and it's like, and you can kind of move it around that way.
Possibly. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see with the work that's been put into this, I can't imagine that they wouldn't have done something like that where you could move the eyes, because everything else has been thought of. Let me just move on to that video, because this will blow your mind if you haven't seen this yet. So this is showing the hands. That is one hand. That is a hand that has individually moving fingers and joints, wrists that move. It's really amazing. Let's just get to the video because it looks insane. So let's watch this. This is crazy. Yeah.
those little shadows,
right?
Like you could tell they sculpted in the muscle in the neck underneath it or something like that. Yep. So when you move it around, it shadows correctly. Like when I was looking at this, I'm like, I don't get how this is happening, because this looks like it has all the internal organs and everything a human would have. Right.
Those little neck muscles here where the skin folds, and because you're an older dude, and like just amazing, incredible. Not to mention that it's not just like a picture perfect sculpt of him, but
dude, the sculpt is amazing, and that little tuft of hair being actual
hair, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm gonna talk to you about. We're gonna take some guesses. We already took some guesses beforehand, but I'm gonna talk to you about like what this actually costs to do. And here's the hand.
Yeah, this is my biggest fear of. I love this. I love everything about this, but my biggest fear of everything going forward is watching the increased cost of everything, and I'm fearing the future because of that.
Well. I mean, listen, the price of everything goes up, obviously. And
okay, tell my company that pays me that the cost of everything is going up, and they should pay me accordingly.
Oh yeah, tell my clients too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. True enough, but yeah, well, that this is our problem in America. Without getting into that, price of everything goes up, and people in Asia want more money for what they're doing, and we're gonna have to pay more for things, and we don't make any more money. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be expensive, but if there's a way to get this is a prototype type thing. I mean, he's actually making these, but if this can be taken to a level of maybe it's not quite the skin folds, or maybe the hands aren't done that way, but to be able to turn the neck or something like that, or have that silicone, just be amazing.
Yeah.
So he's making, from what I've heard, it's not confirmed with him, but he's making 10 of these. And Tom, you've guessed. It's like right. It's like the price is right without going over.
Yeah, I went real high. I went 2,500. I'm like, this is a one of a kind one of 10.
TJ, do you want to revise your bid?
I'll go to
2,000, 2,500. Okay, the word on the street, 10 of them being made.
It's gonna be even higher than what I guess.
$7,000.
Yeah, okay, that's insane. Get the fuck out of here. Go home. Everybody go home. We're done. Toys are over. The show's canceled. Everything's done.
All right, now this is an independent person making these individually.
I get it.
Presumably by hand.
It's a lot of work.
Still a lot more money than I've really heard most customs going for. Aside from, even I was going to show a picture of the next thing. Maybe I do have it still in here, but you've heard of Sarang and the Van Gogh that he made?
No.
You ever see that? Okay, so this is a custom that was made like years and years ago. I think it was on one of the boards. Some people bought into it, and from what I understand, I don't know the full details of it. Some people got kind of screwed over on it. They never got their figure. This guy does shows. I think he's in Korea as well. This is a beautiful figure. I mean, every detail of this Van Gogh figure was nothing was left unturned. It was beautiful, like little brushes. It was gorgeous. Saw somebody selling the full kit of that for $5,500. Okay, that's a rare thing, and there's maybe a handful made. $5,000. That's a lot of goddamn money, man. That's a lot of goddamn money. $7,000 for this. Yeah, Tom. To your point, it scares me.
You're getting a lot. You are getting a lot. I gotta say, if you have that money to spend, you're getting a gorgeous figure, one of a kind.
Yeah.
Kind of thing that is just like, it's an immaculate thing. Totally worth it. I've never seen anything remotely like this in my life. I kind of wish I'm more selfish in my guess, where I'm like, I wish there was something more that I could personally afford.
Me too.
This is if this is the future of, and I think it should be, of 1/6. I'm priced out of 1/6 personally. Once it hits consumer grade again, I could jump back in. But if this is the immediate future, I'm out.
Well, that's the point. The point is Hot Toys is not going to be doing this until they can bring this in line with, well, at the time they do, maybe a $300 price point. Now your average figure is, instead of being $250, is now $300, but you're getting all this, these extra things. And is it enough to make you go back and buy figures that you have? You know what I mean? Like with Sideshow. People hung on to those Sideshow figures for a long time. I still see some people with like a Luke, like the Celebration at the end of A New Hope Luke in their collection, because there's no alternative.
Yeah.
But do you still hang on to those, or do you like, oh damn, I got to have this because it's got that?
Hey, custom your own one, and you spend $1,000. If there's something that you really, really want, price is going to be more negotiable in that way, right? Like when we were talking with Legendary Outlaw Sabrina when she was on the show, we talked about how she's willing to spend a lot more because she has a very focused collection on her favorite characters, and she's willing to make the perfect version of that character.
Right.
Her version of each one of those characters is going to cost more than probably 5 or 6 or 7 of my Hot Toys that I have in this case. And I am fully aware that I know that I'm just buying straight off the box, putting it in my display case, and I'm happy with it. I'm done. That figure's done. She gets it. It's like step one of many to make the perfect thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to make the perfect figure, it's already costing a lot of money.
So Rain Man, I would get into arguments with, not arguments, but a lot of guys that collected Rain Man, or Rain Man would come out with stuff that was, again, not stuff that you'd see normally at the time, Taxi Driver, something like that. And it was a full figure. He'd get Yunsel to do the clothing, and he'd do the sculpt. Great sculptor, decent painter. I think he's got somebody else painting for him now, but Great sculptor for the most part. It was hit or miss sometimes. And, and he would sell this. It was an unlicensed product. Like you're buying Taxi Driver, but it was unlicensed.
Yeah.
Somebody else would come along and say, hey, listen, we're going to get Iris or somebody else to do a Taxi Driver outfit, and so-and-so is going to do the sculpt. And, this is how these things evolve. And somebody would come on and say, like, this is bullshit, man. You should be redoing something an artist has already done. Keep the value of the thing. So it's kind of like my argument was like, listen, this person didn't pay for the license for Taxi Driver. They don't own the rights to the feel.
Someone can easily go in and improve it.
I want a Taxi Driver. I don't want to have to wait for somebody to sell me their Rain Man Taxi Driver, which I didn't think was all that great. I mean, the clothing was nice, but for $1,500, you know what I mean? I'm going to buy one for $4 or $5. You know what I mean? Like, but it is a piece of art. I would say, listen, you still have a piece of art. You still have a Rain Man original. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you want to look at it that way, Rain Man made this. You know what I mean? And you can go out and say, this is a Rain Man original Taxi Driver figure. You know what I mean? And there's only one of 30 or 40 that he made, whatever. So you still have that. So this is a piece of art. I mean, to say $7,000 is insane, we would say so relative to
the
$50
our lives. Yeah.
Well, and a $250 Hot Toy mass-produced
correct
figure. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as like you want to buy a print of the Mona Lisa, or you want to buy the Mona Lisa, So that's a bit of a stretch, but you know what I'm saying.
But it's like I don't know if you have it in here. If you have the YK Kim head sculpt for Tony Stark.
I do. Yes. Oh, how do you do? What did you? Freaking me out, man. Yeah, I just want to look at this one more time. That's what you're talking about, the neck muscles, like right around the end of the.
That I would imagine is either a photograph from the movie set, or B a perfectly rendered sculpture. Not someone just turned the head up of their figure.
To be able to keep the structure of that and have it move like that. I mean, that's mind blowing. It really is mind blowing. I mean, I couldn't spend $7,000 on it, but man, if I had the money, I think I might.
If I owned that figure, my entire Instagram page would be incredibly just that figure the whole time.
Yeah. You'd find things to do with that, TJ, for sure.
This looks amazing. Holy crap.
So this is the next thing, like, how much is too much? That's part of, we can come back to that, but level of quality, like talking about and I do have that Tony Stark, which was also painted by Yellum, credited that. Incredible talent. Will we get to this level? I mean, can you actually have people? I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe I mean, they're getting closer. If you were to compare the very first Thor figure with the latest Thor figure and the vast difference between the two, it is literally night and day.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what 10 years from now, if we had a character today, 10 years from now, what that would look like then. So
it's techniques. I mean, I think there's a lot of work. Having attempted this myself, it's really difficult, and that's not even approaching like. The little tiny details in this thing are not something that you can sort of say, okay, you're going to do this, and then you're going to do a wash of that, and you know what I mean? You could get away with that, but you're not going to come to this level. But you're going to come to that Hot Toys level, which is where they've gotten people in who have taken it, broken it down, and said it's a wash of this, and then you're lightening up that with this type of brush. Here's your color, blah blah blah. It's a line thing.
It's like adding duplicating the number of artists that they have, and then giving a whole other like set the same number of artists to then take it to maybe this level by doing that again.
TJ, what do you think, man?
That's mind blowing.
Yeah. Yellum is hard to get to. I actually approached. I'm a year out, maybe. And for Mad Max, I think. Too.
I can't even get an answer from any of the higher end people.
What's that?
I can't get an answer. I think Chris Caraveo actually responded to me and said he's a good dude. 4 months out.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I tried.
Mm-hmm. You tried Silent Surfer?
Won't answer me. I've talked his emails, Facebook Messenger.
All right, I'll tell him. I'll mention you.
Will you really?
All right, so let's get how much is too much? Like, how much are you paying? How much are you paying for a figure now at this point? I mean, like, let's say you could get some form of that neck, thing, and maybe there's movable fingers, maybe not to the degree of that figure, but that we just showed, the Heat figure. But how much where are you topped out at, basically, is what I'm saying, for an average figure, not an Iron Man or Captain America comes along.
You're asking what we would personally each.
I'm asking you. I'm like, yeah. What is in this today, or maybe say 5 years from now, depending on nobody knows where they're going to be or what they're going to be doing, but so I guess you got to base it on today. Like, what are you topped out at? $300? Is that it? And I'm not buying Captain America for $300.
Yeah, I've always said to myself, when the day that the average hot toy figure crosses over the $300 price point is the day I step down from collecting 6-scale, because I won't be able to afford. I like having as many as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently,
yeah.
I mean, obviously you do too. Look behind you. So like, it's one of those things where like, if it's becomes $400 per figure or something like that, I can't do that many per year, and I'm just going to get more upset because I have like one of the 4 to complete a set or something like that, because I was able to budget out having one. Mm-hmm. It's just like, hot toys, if we're talking hot toys specifically, like for a movie like Endgame, how many figures have we seen so far already, right? And if they're at like $400 each, and then you talk about maybe die cast in that day and age is like $600, $700 or something like that, it's like I'm only going to get 1/4 of the team. Am I going to be a happy person at the end of the day only having like 1/4 of a team that I would love to have a full set of? No, I'll just return back down to being a 1/12 collector, which is what I started at. Right. And I'll just continue doing that. It's like, I love it. Maybe I'll do a Doctor Strange, and that'll be my one character that I just like invest in. And it's like, okay, I'll have a $1,500, $2,000 cost Doctor Strange or something like that. But that's it.
Which is probably why it won't go that way, because given the nature of the pop culture is to, they could have had the same Captain America outfit for the most part through 4 or 5 movies. You know what I mean? Maybe 3 movies at least. And you've got the figure that represents Captain America for 3 movies. But no,
I think
we know we're going to sell more toys, a new toy, because we've changed the helmet, we gave him a beard, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So probably not going to happen to the point where it gets to at least within 1/6, and even in 1/12 and stuff like that, where I can't see people going in and buying, a $35 6-inch Hasbro figure.
Oh, we'll be there before you know it.
What's that?
We'll be there before you know it. When Marvel Legends first started,
an average figure, like,
but Marvel Legends, if we're talking 1/12 for a second, Marvel Legends started at $6 a figure.
Mm-hmm.
We're at $20 a figure now, so we're already more than 4 times that amount almost. So it's like, if you think about it, we're on the track to already being, I'm going to guess we're at $25 a figure within 2 years. And if you're thinking of that within 2 years, you're going to be at 30 probably another 2 years after that.
See, but this is, and I don't doubt that you're right about that. I think this is going to be, and this is part of this is a whole other thought pattern in terms of what we do with photography and toys in general, and that they'll get to a peak and they will start to decline because people won't be able to.
Right. Oh, there'll be a breaking point. It'll be like the housing crisis.
even with a $25 figure, like, you want to collect all the Avengers. That's $200. You know what I mean? Whereas, some people are going to think about that and you don't have the figures to shoot the pictures that you want to, and that's become part of the hobby. But so I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to get to that point. The only thing I think of is maybe there's a new level of DX where they have something like this where you could buy the figure and with the sculpt.
So
get
that was
extra
my
features,
thought.
you know.
My main thought is that the fact that we are just entering a new age of toys or something like that, where instead of it being you buy, here's your character, you buy suits. So like you have Captain America's suit for this movie, this movie, this movie, and then maybe what they'll start doing is every couple of years, here's a new head sculpt. Tony Stark is a perfect example of it. You'll get like, here's a new head sculpt every year, and you're just paying straight out the bat for the head sculpt and the paint job.
Yeah.
And the head sculpt is now, $150, $200 per head sculpt, mass produced. And I'd be more okay with that if I could just buy the different suits I want and kind of cherry pick the different parts of the figure that you want.
Yep.
I would love that.
Well, it goes back to that accessory talk we had, TJ. Like, just like, like that's what I want. You know what I mean? I want to buy more expressions. Like, give me expressions.
Yep.
I want to sculpt with you give me the Punisher. Now I want the Punisher yelling or screaming or something like that. I would
bloody, beaten up, things like that.
I would totally pay $100. Sadly, I would pay $100 for that.
Yeah. And it's funny to think that, like, so I wrote out to YK Kim about that specific Tony Stark sculpt that we had up for a second ago. And I, before knowing how much it was going to cost, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's going to be like,
oh, this is insane too. Isn't this crazy?
Yeah. So I thought in my head, I'm like, oh, it'll be $250, $300. It'll be outside of what I can possibly even afford. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I've been kind of surprised about the stuff I can get on 1/6 kit these days for relatively cheap. Who knows? Let me just throw out a message. And he wrote back, and I'm not disparaging the amount of work, the amount of quality that went in there, but when I saw that price point, my jaw hit the floor.
Which was again
$800. Yeah.
And you look at the comments when I saw that on I don't know, 1/6 Republic or something like that.
I didn't even go on 1/6. I kept that all internal. My feeling about that was all kept within me. I did not say that to anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, but the discussion on there was, it's a lot of people, and this happens all the time when somebody says the price of something like this or a custom or something like that, and it's, it's crazy, that's insane, blah, blah, blah. And then there's always the guy who says, well, if you can't afford it, then you shouldn't be in the whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Also, I hate those people. People that says, I can't afford it, you shouldn't be, blah, blah. No, it's more this is for a specific type of collector. It's not if you can't afford it, you shouldn't be complaining. Whatever. People are going to
should be in the hobby, or you shouldn't be looking, whatever. Right.
No, it's a specific level of collector that want the perfect Tony Stark, which, bar none, this is the perfect Tony Stark.
It's fantastic. I mean, you easily, knowing customs, there's no reason that they couldn't have produced a few more and sold these at $250.
So he told me that he was doing in the message, it's like, write to me at the specific time on June 5th. And the amount of people that write to me at that time are the number of sculpts we'll be doing.
Oh, it's good.
That is it. So, you had to know the window, get in within that window, and then that was it.
It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy.
But I mean, if you are a 1 to 2 person team, which this is a 2-person team, I 100% get that. I get that totally.
I get pre-orders because this is the way it's always been done. Again, like, you're not on this all the time, but like, you go on, you get a head count of people who are interested, and then you say, okay, we're taking a deposit of like a substantial deposit, $100.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose that deposit. You know what I mean? Like, you're in now.
Of course.
And a custom sculpt, beautifully done. This is gorgeous, but I mean, other good sculpts done by a very good painter. Yellum, it happens to be probably one of the top of the game right now. But even done by somebody, in that realm, $300, that's a good one.
I honestly thought, like, in my head, a head sculpt would never cost over $350 at like the top. In my head, that's where
$350 is a top. you're going to pay $250 for a top painter to paint a sculpt that maybe you paid $90 to $100 for. Or something.
When he sent me 800, I thought he mistyped and meant in yen. So I was like, oh, so it's only like $90, like $90. I'm like, that's not bad. I might do this. And I read it. I'm like, no, he actually talks about yen like directly below. I'm like, oh, never mind. He actually means
yeah. I mean, again, like this is kind of the thing, though. It's like there is this. I wouldn't say it's a movement per se. It's like I've seen more of this where there's stuff that's going for really astronomical amounts of money. And it's a low amount, you know, they purposely want to make this, create this desire for, but it's, the thing is, this isn't a brand.
No.
I mean, it's not like you're pushing a brand that way. That's a good idea for a brand to like really make it, ooh, this is exclusive and I can't get to this. It's an odd choice, but hey, listen, man, you get 10 people to pay you $800 for a sculpt. Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, he might have worked it out in a way where he's like, okay, I want to make this amount of money. Once I hit this amount of money to make this project worth it, cut it off there. That way, this is the amount of work we have to do. We're done. We'll also know how many we have to do. End it at that point. We could get all these shipped out at the same point instead of doing a kind of trickle out. Because so I'm dipping my toes into the custom market. In 1/12, I've commissioned some work in specific 1/12 stuff, and I'm a late batch in things where I've seen people get their stuff from the early batch, and I'm now like 6 months later, and he's not even at like the batch that I'm at yet, and I'm like, man, this is killing me to the point where I'm like, I'm seeing all these other people who already have theirs, and that kind of going to create amongst a lot of people who are very vocal on the internet, and kind of a negative commentary, which some people that are doing this kind of work don't need.
That's generally not how it's done. I mean, I know where you're getting at, because I think I know what you're talking about, but generally in the 1/6 customs, it is a group thing. It's all goes to, you know, everybody decides on the tailor, a sculptor, if you're going to do a full figure or something like that. Sometimes it's different people doing different things. So one guy starts a sculpt for Jack Torrance, and another guy's like, I'm going to do the clothing run since there's a great sculpt coming out now. So I'm going to contact Yunsel. I'm going to manage that. And it all comes together. Everybody knows about both the different, it's not even one group of people doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And generally you put it, like I said, you put in a deposit, it all gets done at once. It all gets shipped out fairly at once, depending on the person's ability to get everything out. And everybody kind of gets it at the same time, and it's great, you know, and then everybody starts posting pictures of their stuff. So it's all good.
I think getting them all out at the same time is key. Yeah,
which is fine. Again, with this though, it is an expensive piece. Like, it is ridiculously expensive, given even stuff that I've come across before. But I mean, you know, maybe they just looked at it and said, "Shit, man, we knocked this the fuck out of the park."
Yeah,
and Iron Man fans are nuts, and we can just name our price, and that's good. Go.
The amount of Iron Man fans I've seen that have R8s, Lamborghinis, stuff like that, they knew that they could make their money. To me, I saw it, and I'm like, I either have this one head sculpt, or I could have Gimli, Legolas, Aragorn, and then, you know, the two hobbits.
Yeah.
For the exact, like, I have 5 different figures. For that one cost.
Yep.
Give me the 5 figures. I don't need that one head sculpt.
Yep.
Granted, I would love nothing more than to shoot this. Like, I want to just take pictures of this.
I know. It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. It's speaking of timing though, when you're going to your just when you were talking about waiting for something, I have been in a Joker outfit group. TJ, you're not in on that, are you?
No, just the Indiana Jones one. No,
we're on our. I think we're approaching the Is it the 2nd or 3rd anniversary? I think it's been 3 years since this thread was started. People started since I put in a deposit. This is through Yunsel. She's very backed up with a lot of shit. It's a big project. It's a full Heath Ledger, complete redo of an outfit.
Which outfit?
The outfit.
The main one. Okay.
Yeah. We finally saw a preview of it last week. Not to go deep in this. Looks amazing. Looks great.
Yeah.
God, it's been 2 years. I think it's been 2
How
years.
much, if you don't mind me asking, how much for the full outfit?
I think the full thing was $5.
Okay.
So for all the pieces you get, and very reasonable as these things go.
I mean, we're looking at an $800 head sculpt right here. So, yeah, I think that's very reasonable.
Exactly. Price. Well, I mean, everything's relative, I guess. But, yeah. All right. So I thought I'd show this because this also goes to kind of what we're talking about. So Pop Toys, Pop Toys? Have you heard of Pop Toys? They did a Sherlock Holmes.
They did a lot of, don't they do suits?
Yeah. They do those suits that you see on TNS Figures all the time and selling them and other places. What's his name? There's too many K's in this hobby.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Slim.
So they have these out now. You can buy these suits. They sell these suits. They're on eBay or they're on, I think KG Hobby has them and Kit, 1/6 Kit has them. Pop Toys. Beautiful tailoring. These suits they sell for maybe, I don't know, TJ, what are they, like 60, 70 bucks?
They were like 55 right now.
Yeah, maybe they're $60. $60, yeah. With the shoes, tie, shirt, pants. Really, really beautiful. They put together this video, and I'm like, this is impressive, man. This is a pretty good, because I think they just did this new logo, this Pop costume thing is new. Pop Toys, they had come out with some unlicensed Sherlock figures and somebody else, a bunch of different things. But I think they're starting to get known for their clothing. Their clothing is unbelievable. This is why I don't understand why a Big Chief just doesn't go there. But what I'm getting at is, will there be more and more specialty companies, almost like clothiers for 1/6, companies?
I think so, until it turns into what we're seeing with this is a weird maybe connection in terms of Apple and the App Store, right? Where it's we see them noticing a lot of people making apps out there. Why don't we just incorporate that into our company and then we kind of put that out? So I can kind of see companies I think that they could get bought out by maybe Sideshow might be hey, we suck at making clothes.
Yeah.
Why don't we hire this company to then be our clothes maker for a specific character?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, again, it's not a slam, but I mean, a company like Big Chief or some of these other places who's tailoring on clothing, not great sometimes, not bad sometimes, but these Pop Toys, man, and they're doing this for what TJ said is $60, man. $60, and these suits are they're not Yunsel level. And I know it's weird to talk about that because if you haven't seen that, it's how much better could it be? It could be a little bit better, but these are coming close, man. It's getting close on a mass-produced scale to being.
The arms seem short on that jacket, though. They're good? They actually look good? Because the arms of that one jacket, I'm that's a very oddly built person.
On this here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have one set of clothing, and I think it looks really, really good. And the stuff that they've done on the customs, I have that custom Sherlock. It's from it's a Victorian.
Yeah.
Damn, really, really nice tailoring. Really
do they
nice.
Do specific character stuff? Have they ever done a 10th Doctor kind of suit or anything like that?
No, because they're not doing custom stuff. I mean, it's probably I have to look back through their catalog of actual toys because they're all been unlicensed stuff. They started out as just one of these third-party companies, and they got known for their clothes. I can grab him, but I don't know what you're going to see on the video. Yeah, I'm not going to do it now. But take a look at the Victorian Sherlock that they did, and it's the clothing. The buttons, the buttonholes actually buttons. They're not just magnets. It's a pain in the ass to put them together, but it actually works. Really, really nice quality. So this was kind of cool. I thought this video was very nice.
That fifth bullet, that second word, clothiers. How do you say that word?
Just like you said it, I believe. Unless you want to sound pretentious, you can say clothiers.
Clothiers.
Clothier, yeah. Specialty
okay.
clothiers.
was wondering. I've never seen that word before in my life, so I just thought it'd be clothers or something. I don't know.
Clothiers. I pull these out of my ass every once in a while. I don't know. It's like,
sounds good. It works.
but yeah, so I mean, I think all these things will happen. Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, the cost of these things has to come down to make them better, but that's what always happens. I mean, you couldn't make a better outfit than Sideshow could make in 1998. You know what I mean? To be able to sell that figure for $90 or whatever it was at the time.
Right.
And right now you can't make a better outfit than maybe Hot Toys is making now for some of these, like John Wick or something like that, for $240. But eventually a company like this comes along and finds a way to mass produce these things and really tailor them well, and they hire them out, and maybe you can do even better stuff for $250.
John Wick, because you brought up that one character specifically, is that character that seems like value proposition wise, I'm getting way more for the amount of money I put down on that figure. I think once I actually get that figure, and part of me also wants to look into these kind of secondhand companies to be like, oh, I would love, he's worn a couple different suits over the course of those movies. I would love a different suit. I would love, I know 11 has done a different head. I would like, maybe I'll get the other head too to kind of have a different look. But like, if you talk about package deal, the Hot Toys, $240, like compare that, what you're getting with that, with what we were just talking about with the $800 head sculpt, like you're getting, what a deal for that. And then we could talk about that compared to the Arthur Morgan, the Gunslinger figure, what you're getting for $185, and all the different things you're getting for that. It's just like, money is a weird thing in this industry.
It is. Yeah, I mean, this would be a great, Tony Stark suit. You get a nice 11 or something 1/6 kit sculpt that, sad to say, this was always the problem with some of this stuff. Like, I think that who was that? Was that Jason Bourne sculpt that we saw earlier?
Yeah.
I think that was a who did that? That's a recast. Well, I know that might not be a recast. That one might not be a recast, but somebody recast that.
Kind of looked like the Elysium sculpt, or like it looked like it was from like Elysium in the face. But.
Well, maybe it's new, but the problem is, you could. What I'm getting at is, you will probably see that Tony Stark sculpt recast. Show up on 1/6 kit in 5 months.
Maybe. I mean, who's to say that someone won't recast it? I mean, I'm all about the Manipul 1/12 head sculpt recast, and those are recasts on Hot Toys. But
yeah, but you've actually had to buy the Hot Toy. You had to shrink it down, and then you'd sell. I mean, that's a gray area. I'm down with it.
It's a different.
That Punisher sculpt you have is amazing. I looked at this. Honestly, I looked at this. I'm like, why do I need this? Like, he has this now, and it's smaller, and I could put it in my sets and shit like that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I hated you. You hated me. I hated you for that. Cause
you can still get him. He's still on 1/6 kit.
Okay, I might have to do that.
But that's exactly it. Like, I think I'm a little notoriously known for hating on very specific custom stuff, but it's more the stuff that I think that is something that we'll see. Like someone was patting something. You hear that? Oh, it stopped. Sorry. I've been hating on specific things that I know that like might have been in a pipeline for Hot Toys or things like that. And then it's one of those things that, like, I think Hot Toys might see it as something they were considering, and then all of a sudden maybe the people that they were thinking that would buy that instead go for this thing, and they're like, well, there goes half the market that would end up buying this thing. Let's not do it.
Yeah. Right.
It's different when you're talking about suits or things that we would never get, like, Mezco, if we're talking 1/12 again for just a brief second, they came out with their head sculpts. Bless you.
Thank you.
For specific figures. We've seen what they've done with the Netflix Punisher. It looks nothing like the Hot Toys one. So when Manipul came out with we just recast down the Hot Toys sculpt, I'm like, it'll never get better than this.
No.
Buy it up.
Right. Yeah, that's what people want.
Yeah.
That's what people want. TJ, custom wise, then we're talking about customs, but you're in the custom world to some degree.
Some degree. I'm in that Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones toe into the.
What is that? Iris?
That was Iris. Yeah. That's not out yet. They haven't showed that yet, right?
No, I actually just realized I forgot to follow up on that thread.
So I just actually saw. I went on Yensel's Torybox. Actually has a site now, and I translated it from Korean. And she had a notice that's saying something about she's not taking individual orders now. Like, if you're a company, talk to us. If not, so she may have gotten to the point where, and that's where somebody like this comes in, like Pop Costume or Pop Toys, whatever they're going to be. If they could come out with outfits, think about that. Like, if they can come out with outfits that are obvious as to what they are, specific to James Bond, not even just suits, but costumes, a Han Solo or
Kingsman even. There's some great
Kingsman. Yes, Kingsman. I think they did that. I think they have one. The
oh, did they really?
I think they do, yeah. But even beyond suits, like clothing, I'm looking around trying to figure something out, but I don't know, Star Trek, you know what I mean? Like that. If they could come out with those things and they looked really, really good, without a sculpt, without a body, it's just a clothing set. You know what I mean? Like, be down with that, but if that was $60 as opposed to a Yunsel outfit for, $400, yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. So accessory packs and expansion things like that, I think are definitely a future.
If we're talking about the future, that's my number one most wanted is just do accessory packs. Start doing things where I could buy a starter pack for a character, and then every iteration of that character is added on as just a lower cost accessory pack. It doesn't have to be lower cost to the point where it's like, $60 to $70 cheap. It could be a lot of time and effort spent in making it like picture perfect, beautifully detailed. And it could be like $150 or something like that for an accessory pack, where it's just like you'll never get a secondhand whatever it is better than this. So here it is at a great deal.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'd be great.
Speaking of which, I don't want to divert onto this too much because we're going long, but the accessory pack for Iron Man, I heard not going over too well with some people for $250.
Really? I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah,
I've heard about it. People are complaining about that everything is plastic.
It said it was plastic. Nothing's die cast.
Yeah.
From day one, I knew that because it said it at Comic-Con when I pre-ordered it. Nothing said it was die cast. Everything said it was plastic.
But for $250 is the talk. Like, is it worth $250? It just doesn't.
Can I tell you? I agree with that. That's a good question. However, if you saw everything laid out in the display case, like I did at San Diego, it was well more than if you were to lay down everything that came in a die-cast Iron Man box and like laid it out, spread out. It was bigger in terms of size, where if they made a die-cast, you'd be spending $400 for that accessory pack. And I would not spend an additional $400 on top of another $400 figure to make it, a die-cast accessory pack.
Right,
so
right.
Whatever. Whatever. People want to complain.
True enough.
So listen, if all of those accessories are die-cast, it's just going to like weigh down your actual figure when you're putting on all of the arm attachments and whatnot.
Which is a major complication sometimes when you're trying to like pose out a scene that keeps like toppling over and whatever setup you have.
True enough. All right, we've discussed this topic to death.
Have we? Yeah, we probably have.
Yeah, probably at this point. I mean, there's more to say, but I mean, it's all conjecture and it's all speculation, and we don't know what's going to happen. I'm intrigued. All this stuff. I would love all this movement to happen. I would love this higher quality paint. I think it's going to happen. I think our prices are going to go up a little bit.
Prices are already going up whether they add anything in or not.
True enough.
Might as well add some stuff in.
True enough, and we haven't even gotten to tariffs on toys yet, so we'll see what that's going to happen. What's going to happen with that? But Yeah. Cool stuff. Hopefully some of this stuff gets incorporated in the next 10 years or so. I'm even doing this in 10 years. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for tuning in, sticking with us for this long. Don't forget to subscribe, like, go to excludecollective.com to see when we're going to be on again. It should be another 2 weeks, I hope. I hope to be able to keep on schedule for the most part. It's a crazy month, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
But that's it. So, arrivederci. Fresca.